Keshavadhita Narahari Rupa, in this ferocious form of Narasimha, just for one devotee, that is Prahlāda. What a special devotee he is, and what a special incarnation is in the form of Narasimha. And why he is so special? That to personally protect him, the Lord appears. That we will see from the 5th canto. Let us begin by the invocation. Om Jnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Padamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padkamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandhu Jagatpate Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhayavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Śrīmate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paśatya Deshatarine. Hare Krishna. So Prahlāda is such a breathing devotee of the Lord that the Lord decides to appear in the form of Narasimha. So the teachings of Prahlāda Mahārāj is mentioned in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam in great detail in the 7th canto. And some of the most popular verses of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam comes from the prayers and teachings of Srila Prahlāda Mahārāj. But I will not take from the 7th canto because to speak from the 7th canto, it requires continuous series of at least a week. But it is very nicely summarized in the 5th canto by Srila Sukadeva Goswami, when he is quoting the prayers offered to the Lord by the residents of Jambudīp. And in Jambudīp, there are various islands, prominently 9 islands. And in each of this island, there is a presiding deity, Adhisthata Vigraha, and there is a Pradhan Sevaka. So Sukadeva Goswami continued. Okay, I'll read the verse first. Hari Varshe Chapi Bhagavan Narahari Rupena Ste Tadrupa Grahana Nimittam Uttarattara Abhidhiyase Taddaitam Rupam Mahapurusha Gunabhajano Mahabhagavato Daitya Danava Kula Tirthikarana Shila Charita Prahlādo Avyavyaidhanananya Bhakti Yogena Sadataha Varshaha Purashe Rupasite Tim Chodata Haritati. Sukdev Goswami is speaking this verse and he's speaking to Maharaj Parikshit. He says, my dear king, Lord Narsimhadev resides in the tract of land known as Hari Varsha. In the 7th canto of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, I shall describe to you how Prahlāda Mahārāj caused the Lord to assume the form of Sri Narsimhadev. Prahlāda Mahārāj, the topmost devotee of the Lord, is the reservoir of all the good qualities of great personalities. His character and activities have delivered all the fallen members of his demonic family. Lord Narsimhadev is very dear to this exalted personality. So dear is Prahlāda that the Lord appears in the form of half lion, half man. Thus Prahlāda Mahārāj, along with his servants and all the denizens of Hari Varsha, worship Lord Narsimhadev by chanting the following mantra. We'll quickly read Srila Prabhupada's purport also. Jayadev Goswami, 10 prayers worshipping the incarnation of Lord Krishna, Keshava, contains his name in every stanza. Just one minute. For example, Keshavadhita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagdish Hare. So this is the prayer that we recite. Tavakar Kamalavare Nakham Adabhuta Shringam Dalita Hiranyakashapu Tanu Bhringam Keshavadhita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagdish Hare. So the word Jagadish refers to the proprietor of all universes. Jagat means this world and Isha means the owner, the controller and the proprietor. Ish means Bhagwan. Bhagwan means one who is the proprietor, one who is the controller, one who is the originator. So this word Jagadish, the word Jagadish refers to the proprietor of all the universes. His original form is two-handed form of Krishna. How? Keshav Dhrita is this Keshav who has taken the form of Narahari Rupa. That is his incarnation, or that is his manifestation. His avatar as what? As Narahari. So his original form is Keshava, which is two-handed form. The original form is the two-handed form of Lord Krishna standing with a flute in his hand and engaged in tending the cow, as stated in Brahma Samhita. Chintamani prakar sadme shukalpa vriksha Laksha Vriteshu Surabhira Vipalayantam Lakshmi Shahasya Sata Sambrahma Sevyamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, the first progenitor who is tending the cow. So this is the original form of the Lord in the form of cowherd boy. Yielding all desires in abode, built with spiritual gems and surrounded by millions of purpose tree. He is always served with great reverence and affection by hundreds and thousands of goddess of fortune. So this is Brahmaji's realization. Actually, Krishna does not require any service. Why? Because he is being continuously served by millions and millions of Lakshmi. Lakshmi Shahasya Sata Sambrahma Sevyamana. From this verse, we can learn that Govinda or Krishna is the Adi Purusha, the original person. The Lord has innumerable incarnation, exactly like the innumerable waves of the flowing river. So it is compared, our acharyas compared the various forms, the incarnations that the Lord takes as compared to the waves of a flowing river. So how many waves can come in a flowing river? Uncountable. But the original form is Krishna or Keshav. Shukdev Goswami refers to Narsimhadev because of Prahlāda Mahārāj. This is the point. Prahlāda Mahārāj was put into great distress by his powerful father, the demon Hiranyakashipu. Apparently helpless before him, Prahlāda Mahārāj called on the Lord, who immediately assumed the gigantic form of Narsimhadev, half lion and half man, to kill the gigantic demon. The gigantic form of Narsimhadev, purpose to kill the gigantic demon Hiranyakashipu. Although Krishna is the original person without a second, he assumes different form just to satisfy his devotees. So this is the first purpose. This is the original purpose of the Lord coming, is to pacify or satisfy or protect his devotees or to execute a specific purpose. Therefore, Jayadev Goswami always repeats the name of Keshav, the original personality of Godhead, in his prayers, describing the Lord different incarnations for different purposes. This is the verse. Many years back, I requested all of you to memorize this verse. Every day you should recite this verse. And whenever you come to Shri Radha Parsarthi temple, when you come in front of Shri Lakshmi Narsimdev, you should recite. This should be the pranam mantra. Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya. Namo Tejas Tejase Aviravirbhava. Vajranakha Vajdamshra Karma Shayan Randhaya Randhaya. Tamo Grasa Grasom Swa Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Bhuyashta Om Shram. How many of you have memorized this verse? Anyone who can repeat? Yes, very good. Ramya Madhuri Mataji. Boliye. Unmute and speak. Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya. Namaste Jaste Jase Avirbhava. Vajranakha Vajradamsa Karmasayan Randhaya Randhaya. Namo Grasa Grasa Om Swaha Abhayam Abhayam Atmani Bhuyashta Om Shram.
Very good. Very good. Very good. And this will always give you so much of confidence, courage, and you will always feel the protection. We will discuss this, as Srila Prabhupada is saying. I requested all of you, at least, I remember 2 to 3 years back, I took this verse. But there is only one sincere soul who has memorized. Others do not require the protection of Narsimdev. They are thinking their ability is sufficient. They on their own are capable to fight the onslaught of the material nature. You try, you keep trying. Krishna says, Mammaya Durattaya. Durattaya. Prabhupada, right? It is insurmountable. So how you can go beyond? Only by the grace of the Lord. So prayers are very powerful. It is the prayers of Prahlāda Mahārāj which made Lord Narasimha appear. And also today is the appearance day of Shri Radharama. Srila Gopal Bhatt Goswami prayed that when you can appear in love of Prahlāda from a pillar, why you cannot manifest from the Shaligram? And this beautiful form of Shri Radharamanju, he appeared from Shaligram. Why? Because their devotees were praying from their heart. The biggest shield of protection and ammunition together. See, there is only one thing at a time. Either you can have ammunition or you can have protection. But prayers are so powerful that it gives both. It gives us the immunity to be protected from the entanglement or from the influence of Maya's energy or the Maya's spell. Maya creates a spell so that we are trapped. So that will be removed and we will get the protection of the Lord. A very personal prayer. The prayers means personalization. Personalization of our relation with the Supreme Lord. Most of us, even while we are practicing devotional service, we take the impersonal form. How? Because we do not open our heart to the Lord. And the Lord is himself seated in the heart. So how the opening of the heart can come? When we recite this beautiful prayers. And Prabhupada always says, we should not try to create our own prayers, but we should try to repeat the prayers of the Acharyas. And what a powerful prayer is the prayer of Prahlāda Mahārāj. This is how Prahlāda Mahārāj is worshipping with this prayer. How many of you want to recite this prayer? How many of you want to memorize this prayer? Be honest. Only 2 people are interested to recite. Others are still thinking that they have their own formula. So you see, Narsimdev is there. Baher Narsimha, Hridaye Narsimha. So he is there in the heart. So next time when Narsim Jayanti comes, from today till Narsim Jayanti, entire 364 days, you recite this prayer. If you recite for 60 days continuously, it will become a part of your life. You will never forget. But do it continuously for 60 days. And you see the difference. So here, Prahlāda Mahārāj is glorifying the Lord. He is invoking the presence of the Lord. He says, I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Narsimdev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possesses nails and teeth just like thunderbolts. Vajra Nakha. Vajra means the thunderbolt. And Nakha means the nails. And Vajra Damstra. Damstra means the teeth. For our Narsimdev, I'll tell you some inside stories also. That when we decided to install Narsimdev, so we were searching for actual tiger nails. And we found 3 tiger nails. And then the Damstra, Vajranakha. Nakha means the nails, the tiger nails. So his nails are so powerful, it is like the tiger. So what the tiger does, it kills the prey by its nail. And how? By its damstra, by its teeth. And for the teeth of Lord Narsimdev in our temple, we got a devotee. He is initiated devotee. He is dentist by profession. And he is the one who set the teeth of Lord Narsimdev at Mayapur many years back. So we requested him personally, and I met him also. And he came, and it took almost 2 days. And there was one more devotee who was assisting him. And both of them worked very hard for 2 days to set the teeth in the right way. Why? Because very important. Vajranakha, Vajradamstra. And what it does, Karmashaya Randhaya Randhaya. So the Lord with his sharp nails and his sharp teeth, what he can do? Kindly vanquish our demon-like desires. So we are invoking, we are inviting the Lord that please enter into our heart. And as you ripped apart, as you killed Hiranyakashipu by your powerful nails, so kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Karmashaya Randhaya Randhaya. That Vajranaka Vajradamstra Karmashaya. What is karma? Is trying to get some gain or some result out of our action. Trying to enjoy. Karmashaya means the demonic desire to be happy by material activities. So kindly vanquish or kindly terminate from our heart such desires for fruitive activity in this material world. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance. See what a powerful prayer it is. Tamograsa. Tamo is what? Ignorance. So our heart is captivated by ignorance, deep, dark ignorance. So please appear in our heart and drive away the ignorance, so that by your mercy, we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. Very beautiful prayer, very powerful prayer. So every day with feelings, and how the prayers have to be recited, there are 2 ways. One is the way is mechanical way. Most of us subscribe to the mechanical way. But try to pray with some feelings. Feelings. And as we pray to the Lord with feelings, definitely the Supreme Lord not only hears our prayer, he will reciprocate accordingly. he will reciprocate. In Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam 4:22-39, Sanat Kumar speaks the following words to Maharaj Prithu. Yatpada pankaj palash vilash bhaktya karmashayam grathitam udgratayanthi sanata tadvanariktamatyo yatayo api ruddha stroto ganastam aranam bhajavasudevam. Devotees always engaged in the service of the toe of the Lord's lotus feet can very easily become free from hard-knotted desires for fruitive activities. So this desire to enjoy or desire to have material success is very deep-rooted. So how it can be eliminated or removed? By engaging in this service. Because this is very difficult, the non-devotees, the jnanis and yogis cannot stop the waves of sense gratification, although they try to do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in devotional service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. So Prabhupada is saying that every living being within this material world has a strong desire to enjoy matter to his fullest satisfaction. That is the conditioning. That we are thinking we are this material body and this world is created for our enjoyment. For this purpose, the conditioned soul must accept one body after another, and thus his strongly fixed fruitive desires continue. One cannot stop the repetition of birth and death without being completely desireless. Therefore, Srila Rupa Goswami describes pure bhakti devotional service as follows. This is the definition of bhakti. Who is a bhakta? Who is following this principle of Srila Rupa Goswami. What is the principle? Anyabhilashita shunyam yana karmadi anavritam anukulyena krishnanushilanam bhaktiruttama. One should render transcendental loving service to the Supreme Lord Krishna favorably. So how service has to be rendered? Favorably. Favorably means for the satisfaction of the Supreme. Many times we have a desire to do service. But what is the intent? The intent of the service is to please ourselves. That is not favorable. That is not anushilanam. That is not anushilanam. It is not anukulyena. So anukulyena means which is favorable to Krishna. What is the opposite of anukulyena? Favorable. What is the definition? What is the opposite of anukula?
Pratikula, Prabhuji.
Pratikula. So if it is not for the pleasure of the Lord, then what is the bhava? It is not anukula. It is pratikula. Any example of pratikul bhav bhakti? Bhav means feeling. And pratikul bhav. What is pratikul bhav? Boliye. Many examples. Yes, Manoram Jagannath Prabhu.
Prabhuji, one kind is while chanting, Prabhuji, our mind will not accept, but still we are doing it, Prabhuji.
That is anukul. That is not pratikul. If you are going against your mind, that is anukul. Very good. Because the mind is conditioned. But who are the characters, who are the examples of pratikul bhav? Yes, Dayashil Prabhu.
To get some name and fame from the service, whatever we are doing.
Yeah. One example is Kamsa. Why? Because Kamsa was always thinking about Krishna. He was always, his smaranam was Krishna. He was always thinking about Krishna. But what was the bhav which was pratikul? Why? Because he was thinking of not to please Krishna, but how to kill Krishna. Pratikul bhav. So we should try to cultivate favorable. Anukulena Krishnanu. So Anukul bhav bhakti means as per the pleasure of Krishna. How it is without desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophy. So how it will become anukul when it is without. It is anya abhilashita shunyam. What is the abhilash? In this material world, in the conditioned soul heart, the abhilash is only for dhanam janam sundari. This is the natural condition of the conditioned soul. But if we can give up this desire for material profit or gain through fruitive activities or philosophical speculation, that is karma and jnana. Karma means to enjoy the result, and jnana means seeking impersonal liberation. So if we can go beyond these two levels, then it is called pure devotional service. Unless one is completely freed of material desires, which are caused by the dense darkness of ignorance, one cannot fully engage in the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, we should always offer our praise to Lord Narasimhadev, who killed Hiranyakashipu, the personification of material desires. So we should always call to the Lord, should always pray to the Lord that as you killed, as you slain Hiranyakashipu, so I also have in my heart a Hiranyakashipu living. And that Hiranyakashipu is my desire to enjoy this world or material pleasures or material gains. So you please enter into my heart and kill that desire. Vajranakha Vajadamshtra. What to kill? Karma Shayam. The repeated reaction of action and reaction. The repeated chain of birth and death. So you please enter into my heart and kill that propensity, that desire for enjoying through this material body, through the material world. By removing the ignorance. The root of it is ignorance. Hiranya means gold and Kashipu means soft cushion or bed. Materialistic person always desire to make the body comfortable. And for this they require huge amounts of gold. Thus Hiranyakashipu was the perfect representative of materialistic life. He was therefore the cause of great disturbance to the topmost devotee Prahlāda Mahārāj. Until Lord Narasimhadev killed him, any devotee aspiring to be free from material desire should offer his respectful praise to Narasimhadev as Prahlāda Mahārāj did in this verse. Please note it. This is the declaration of His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. That any devotee who is aspiring to be free from material desires should offer his respectful prayers to Narasimhadev and Prahlāda Mahārāj as Prahlāda Mahārāj did in this verse. But Janiya Shuniya Vishakhainu. 3 years back also we discussed the same verse on Narsim Chaturdashi, but only one, maybe not 3 years, 2 years. But only one of you have remembered it, other have forgotten. And what is the reason of forgetfulness? Is our material desires. Because we don't want to give up. So if we really want to be free and if we want to perform devotional service, we have to learn to pray. Very simple, a powerful way of praying to the Lord. And what is the prayer? See the exalted position of Prahlāda Mahārāj. What is his prayer? What is his heartfelt feelings? He says, Swasti astu vishwasya khala prasidita. Dhyayantu bhutani shivam mito dhiya. Manascha bhadram bhajatad adhokshaje. Aveshyatam namatir api ahetuki. Swasti astu vishwasya. May there be good fortune throughout the universe. Swasti means which is auspicious, which is all good. So he's saying, let there be good fortune throughout the world. How there will be good fortune throughout the world? And this material world itself means misfortune. So how to change the misfortune into good fortune? He says, Khala prasidita. Khala means that those people who are unfavorable or those who are envious. Material world means it is a place of envy. Whenever someone sees the other person advancing, what comes in his heart is envy. So he is requesting, Khala prasidita. Let such envious person be pacified. May all living entities become calm by practicing bhakti yoga. How this can happen? This can happen only when there is manasya bhadram bhajatad adhokshade. So when they are offering devotional service. For by accepting devotional service, they will think of each other's welfare. So one aspect of devotional service is not only that we are very selfish. We pray for only ourselves, for our protection and our advancement in bhakti. That definitely we should do. But we should also try to pray for others, try to help others whom we see that they are struggling in bhaktis because of their various reasons. Those who are not taking bhakti sincerely, or they were at one time practicing, but now due to some reasons. What are the reasons? It has already been mentioned by Prahlāda Mahārāj in the previous verse. Karma ashaya. Due to the chain of fruitive result or fruitive activity, they are becoming weak in their practice. So what we should do? We should pray for them. And believe me, if we pray for someone else's protection, the Lord is highly pleased. So you see how Prahlāda Mahārāj made Narasimha appear on the strength of his prayer. He is saying that all those envious person, when they will think of each other's welfare, and how that will happen? Because they will be engaged in devotional service. Therefore, let us all engage in the service of the Supreme Transcendence, Lord Shri Krishna, and always remain absorbed in thought of him. Very beautiful prayer. Swasti astu vishwasya khala prasidita. He is praying from the core of his heart that let there be good fortune throughout the universe. The following verse describes the Vaishnava. Vansha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namah. Just like a desire tree, a Vaishnava can fulfill all the desires of anyone who takes shelter of his lotus feet. Prahlāda Mahārāj is the typical Vaishnava. He prays not for himself, but for all living entities. And for all the gentle, the envious, and the mischievous. He always thought of the welfare of mischievous person like his father, Hiranyakashipu. Prahlāda Mahārāj did not ask for anything for himself. Rather, he prayed for the Lord to excuse his demonic father. This is the attitude of a Vaishnava who always think of the welfare of the entire universe. Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam and Bhagavad Dharma are meant for persons who are completely free of envy. Param nirmat saranam satam. Therefore, Prahlāda Mahārāj prays in this verse, Khala prasidita. May all the envious persons be pacified. The material world is full of envious persons, but if one frees himself of envy, he becomes liberal in his social dealing and can think of others' welfare. Anyone who takes up Krishna consciousness and engages himself completely in the service of the Lord cleanses his mind of all envy. Manasya bhadram bhajatat adhokshaje. Therefore, we should pray to Lord Narsimdev to sit in our hearts. We should pray, Bahir Narsimha, Hidaye Narsimha. Let Lord Narsimdev sit in the core of my heart, killing all my bad propensities. Let my mind become clean so that I may peacefully worship the Lord and bring peace to the entire world. See, such a beautiful bhava. The inner core of his heart is brimming with the feeling to make everyone become fortunate. And he is thinking about the most unfortunate to make them fortunate. So is it possible for anyone to do that? So what he is doing? He is invoking the mercy of the Lord. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given a very fine purport in this regard. Whenever one offers the prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one always requests some benediction for him. Even pure Nishkam devotees prays for some benediction, as instructed by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his 6th Ashtaka. Ainanda tanuj kinkaram patitam mam vishame bhavam budo kripaya tava pad pankaja sthita dhuli sadrisham vichintaya. O son of Nand Maharaj Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Let somehow or other I have fallen into the ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from the ocean of birth and of death and place me as one of the atom on your lotus feet. In another prayer, Lord Chaitanya says, Mam janmani janmaneshware bhavatat bhaktir ahetaki tvai. Life after life, kindly let me have unalloyed love and devotion to your Lordship's lotus feet. When Prahlāda Mahārāj chants Om Namo Bhagavate Narsimhaya, he prays for a benediction from the Lord. But because he is also an exalted Vaishnava, he wants nothing for his personal sense gratification. The first desire expressed in his prayer is Swasti Astu Vishwasya. Let there be good fortune throughout the entire universe. Prahlāda Mahārāj thus requested the Lord to be merciful to everyone, including his father. And what was his father doing? His father was not saying, I will stop you from playing, or I will stop you from meeting your friends, or I will stop you from giving chocolates. What was his father doing? His father was throwing him from the top of the hill. His father was making him trampled by the elephants. His father was throwing him in the boiling oil to kill him. Such a father. None of us have any experience of what it means. Do we have any experience? Like Krishna's mercy, we have no experience. Our fathers have been our affectionate fathers. They are willing to do anything and everything for us, to protect us so that we may live long. But what a father did, Prahlāda had. And Prahlāda never went to his father and said, my dear father, why you are trying to kill me? What wrong have I done to you? He never complained. He never ever approached Hiranyakashipu or asked him that why you are doing this to me? Kis baat ka badla le rahe hain aap? He never complained. On the contrary, what he is doing, he is praying from the core of his heart that let him be pacified. Let him be satisfied. Please change his heart. And believe me, it is only by Krishna's grace that we can change the heart of other people. How? By praying to the Lord intensely. If we intensely pray, the heart of even the most envious person can change. But the problem is we don't pray. We don't have even a desire to pray. We don't have a desire to help anyone who's really struggling. We are so self-obsessed and self-absorbed that we are only thinking about ourselves. not thinking about the welfare of anyone else. But Prahlāda Mahārāj is such a exalted personality that he is only thinking of the welfare of others. And this has very much pleased the Lord. So Prahlāda Mahārāj thus requested the Lord to be merciful to everyone, including his father, a most envious person. According to Chanakya Pandit, there are two kinds of envious living entities. One is the snake, and the other is a man like Hiranyakashipu, who is by nature envious of everyone, even of his father or son. Another father-son example is here the father is envious. There is one very prominent example when the son is very envious. Who is he? Son is very envious of the father, and he wants to kill his father. Character in Krishna Lila.
Kansa Maharaj Prabhu.
Yes. What Maharaj? Kamsa.
Kansa.
Kamsa. His cunning, cruel Kamsa. He wanted to kill his father. Why? Because he could become the king. So what is it? It is all pratikul bhav. It is not anukul. So anukul bhav is the bhav we have to imbibe from Prahlāda Mahārāj. Prahlāda asked a benediction for the benefit of his father Hiranyakashipu, who was very envious of devotees. But Prahlāda wished his father and other demons like him would give up their envious nature by the grace of the Lord and stop harassing the devotee. Khala prasiditam. The difficulty is that the khala, envious living entity, is rarely pacified. One kind of khala, the snake, can be pacified simply by mantras or by action of particular herb. Mantra aushadhi vashaha sarpa khalakena nivaryet. An envious person, however, cannot be pacified by any means. Therefore, Prahlāda Mahārāj prays that all envious persons may undergo a change of heart and think of welfare of others. Now, Sri Prabhupada's heart, his bhav, what he is saying. If the Krishna consciousness movement spreads all over the world, and if by the grace of Krishna everyone accepts it, the thinking of envious people will change. Everyone will think of the welfare of others. Krishna conscious means person who is thinking about the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlāda Mahārāj prays Shivam Nito Diya. In material activities, everyone is envious of others, but in Krishna consciousness, no one is envious of anyone else. Everyone thinks of the welfare of others. Therefore, Prahlāda Mahārāj prays that everyone's mind may become gentle by being fixed at the lotus feet of Krishna. Bhajatat adhokshaje. As indicated elsewhere in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, Save mana Krishna pada ravindayo. This is the prayer of Amrish Maharaj. And as advised by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, man mana bhava mad bhakta. One should constantly think of the lotus feet of the Lord Krishna. When one's mind will certainly be cleansed, cheto darpan marjana. Materialist will always think of sense gratification, but Prahlāda Mahārāj thinks that the Lord's mercy will change their minds and they will stop thinking of sense gratification. If they think of Krishna always, everything will be all right. Some people argue that if everyone thought of Krishna in that way, the whole universe would become vacated because everyone would go back home, back to Godhead. This is some people, those who don't practice Krishna consciousness, they give this lame excuse. कि अगर सारे भक्त बन जाएंगे तो संसार कौन चलाएगा? They are very interested in samsara. They are very interested in the repeated chain of action and reaction. They want to rot in the cycle of birth and death. So they are saying that अगर हम भी भक्त बन गए तो फिर संसार कौन चलाएगा? तो अगर हम भक्त नहीं बनेंगे तो संसार चलता रहेगा. They don't know the arrangement that bhutva bhutva praliyati. That this material world, this cosmos is created and annihilated. So Prabhupada is citing the examples of such persons, such materialistic persons. that the whole universe would be vacated because everyone will go back home, back to Godhead. However, Srila Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur says that this is impossible because the living entities are innumerable. If one set of living entities is actually delivered by Krishna consciousness movement, another set will fill the entire universe. So I'll stop here. To some extent, we were able to get into the heart of what Prahlāda Mahārāj is. Prahlāda Mahārāj prayed that let everyone be delivered. He is singing in the 7th canto, it comes. He says, Soche tato vimukha. Those who are Maya Sukhaya Bharam. He's thinking, I am thinking about those fools and rascals who are always aspiring to receive some sukha. Sukha means some happiness from Maya. Maya Sukhaya Bharam. So I am thinking about them. So how they will be delivered? So very important that we should try, at least we should try to help someone else. Our known one, our fellow one, who was practicing Krishna consciousness, but somehow, for some rhyme or reasons, he is slipping. So we should pray for his protection. We should pray to Lord Narasimhadev. Lord Narasimhadev has come. We should pray. Yesterday we prayed. We offered some offerings to the Lord. I will not name. Heartfelt prayers for protection. Not only our own protection. That is again selfish. But we should learn to pray at least for one soul. Without expectation of anything in return or reward. Let us do one selfless service and pray to Lord Narasimhadev. And how to pray? By reciting these prayers of Prahlāda Mahārāj. Om Namo Bhagavate Narasimhaya Namo Tejas Tejase Avir Bhava. So we should recite this prayer. Learn this prayer. So I will stop here. And in another 20 minutes, I want to discuss about the festivities today, especially of Shri Radha Ramanju's appearance. The appearance of Shri Radha Ramanju's. It is the power of devotion, the power of the devotional service of Prahlāda Mahārāj. Okay, tell me what devotional service did Prahlāda Mahārāj do so that Narasimhadev appeared? 1 minute. Prahlāda was a young 5-year boy. What did he do? That the Supreme Lord agreed to appear in the form of Narasimhadev. In the age span of just 5 years, what he would have done? That he pleased the Lord to such an extent that the Lord came in this form. Bolo jaldi bolo, time nahi hai. Yes, Ravindra Prabhu. What devotional service did he perform?
Prabhuji, he has a complete faith on the Supreme Lord, and he is also preaching to his classmates about the Supreme Lord.
No, that is not the correct answer. He did that. That is true. But how he had that complete faith? How he developed that complete faith?
By associating with a hearing from the...
You are speculating. You are not clear. Yes, Pranab.
Prabhuji, strong faith that Lord is everywhere, even in the pillar also.
Now, how that faith came? What is the basis?
Because he is a pure devotee, always engaged in devotional service.
How he became pure? What in devotional service he was engaged? देवदत्ता, आप बताइए. You know the answer?
हरे कृष्ण प्रभु जी. प्रभु जी एग्जैक्टली तो नहीं पता, पर मुझे लगता है कि नारद जी के एसोसिएशन में थे, तो स्टार्टिंग से ही बहुत ही प्योर डिवोटी के मर्सी की वजह से he got to have that faith, complete faith on Lord.
How was he in association with Narad Muni? He took birth in the family of Hiranyakashipu. Pradeep Prabhu?
Yeah, it's engaged in the devotional service.
Which devotional service he performed?
Listening, Prabhuji.
कई चीजें बोल रही हो आप. Okay, Mamta is saying Navda Bhakti. Yeah, he is the one who gave the verse Shavanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Okay, let us hear the answer from Dayashil Prabhu.
Prabhuji, he was always remembering the Supreme Lord.
No. How? You also don't know the answer. He did only one thing. You don't know about Prahlāda Mahārāj? I'm so shocked. I'm really shocked. After so many years of practice, still the principle is not clear. No one. Sonika, you know? He was in the womb of his mother Kayadu. When Hiranyakashipu was performing very severe austerities to gain the kingdom of the heavens, the king of heaven, Indra, was very much in anxiety. And what he did, when he heard that Hiranyakashipu's wife, Kayadu, is expecting a son, his anxiety became doubled. He was thinking, only one person, one demon is giving me so much of terror. If one more will come, what will happen? So he approached Kayadu in the absence of Hiranyakashipu, who was performing austerity, and he wanted to kill her. Why? Because if he kills the wife, the son in the womb of Kayadu will also automatically get killed. But at that time, Narad Muni appears. And he tells Indra that do not perform this sinful action. You do not know that the womb of Kayadu is having the topmost devotee. A exalted devotee of the Lord will appear from the womb of Kayadu. So do not kill him. Do not kill her. And Indra became again very, horrified, and he left. And Narad Muni brought Kayadu to his ashram. And when Kayadu was in the ashram of Narad Muni used to speak Bhagavatam. But Kayadu could not hear. Although Narad Muni spoke one-to-one to Kayadu, but she could not hear. Why? Because in her heart, there was always fear. What was the fear? Indra might not come and kill her son. What was the fear? Indra might not come and attack Hiranyakashipu. But in the womb of Kayadu was Prahlāda. And Prahlāda was very attentively hearing whatever Narad Muni was speaking. Even Kayadu used to fall asleep. But Prahlāda in the womb would very attentively hear. So just by hearing, and when he came out from the womb of Kayadu, he was a pure devotee. That is the power of Shravanam. But how to hear? Hear with attention. And just think about this aspect. I did not think of discussing this. What is the situation of a baby in the womb of the mother? We cannot imagine the atrocious position, because the child is upside down. His legs are upward and his head is down. And he's curved. He is stuffed in the abdomen of his mother, where there is stool, urine, pus, all abominable things. Most abominable state that the living entity has to go in. But still he was hearing with attention. In our life, do we ever face that situation? And we say we don't have time to hear. That means we have no interest for him. Why? Because it is karma ashaya. In our heart, there are so many desires to enjoy this material world. And again we are dragged by these desires to pursue those desires. And we feel if we perform bhakti, we may not be able to fulfill those desires. So Prahlāda Mahārāj is our Acharya. In the most adverse, in the most abominable, in the most difficult situation, he was hearing with rapt attention. And every word which came out from the lotus mouth of Narad Muni entered the heart of Prahlāda. And just by the strength of Shravanam, when he was delivered, he was the purest devotee of the highest exalted standard. If one who has done Shravanam and Kirtanam, then only there is question of Smaranam. He was always remembering. Why? Because he was hearing attentively, and then after hearing, that is Shravanam, he was doing Kirtanam, where he was preaching to his classmates. That is Kirtanam. The Shravanam and Kirtanam was strong. So there is always Smaranam. Maher Narsimha, Hidaya Narsimha. Yato yato yami, yato Narsimha. Very important. You should hear. What is the difficulty? If we don't eat one time, the soul will not leave the body, Baba. It will not go to Vaikuntha. It will stay here. Don't worry. But if we don't hear, definitely we will be dragged by karma ashaya. We will be dragged to perform fruitive activity. The Prahlāda Mahārāj is teaching us that even that is the most difficult of situation. See what Prahlāda Mahārāj had to go through. Before he was born, his mother had fear and threat. He was being killed. There was a threat of being killed in the womb by the Devtas. And when he is born, there is constant attempt to murder by his father. And in such adverse situation, he is still unmoved. He is not disturbed. Such a powerful personality is Prahlāda. And in love of Prahlāda, Prahlāda Lāda Dahine. Namaste Narsimhaya, Prahlāda Alāda Dahine. Why he appears? Prahlāda, Ahlād. Ahlād means to give joy. Dahine, to give joy to Prahlāda, he appears. And when Narsimdev appeared, his terrible form and his anger and his rage, and when he ripped apart Hiranyakashipu, everyone appeared there. Brahma was there, Shiva was there, Indra was there, Lakshmi was there, Rudra was there, everyone was there. But no one had the courage to go and stand in front of Narasimha. So Brahmaji is calling Prahlāda and he's saying, you go ahead. You go ahead and pacify Narasimha. And Prahlāda fearlessly, he comes and sits in the lap of Narasimha. And Narasimha, he starts to lick the hairs and the head of Prahlāda. Why? Because he is experiencing the Vatsalya Ras. From Ugram Viram Mahavishnu, he immediately becomes to experience the Vatsalya Prema of Prahlāda. That is the character of Prahlāda Mahārāj. I have almost taken time. It's so much, such glorious. And if we enter into the 7th canto, the prayers, one of the most powerful prayers of Prahlāda. And his prayers are personification of his feelings. Actually, prayers convey our feelings. The innermost core of our feelings are expressed through prayers. How to open our heart is through prayers. The Lord Narasimha has appeared. Very few came to take darshan. I don't know where they are entrapped. So please come and receive the blessings of the Narasimha. What a beautiful prayer. Karmashaya randhaya randhaya tamo grasa. So this desire for fruitive activities or fruitive results are coming from the mode of ignorance, tamo grasa. And you please, by your vajranaka vajramshra, terminate them, remove them. We should pray. And as we pray, and as we plead to the Lord will be pleased. And we should also remember, not only pray for ourselves, we should try to pray for others' welfare. Try to genuinely, if we cannot help anyone, if we think by our speaking he will not accept, so we should at least pray for him. My Lord, you please change his heart. Hare Krishna. Okay, Narasimha Avirbhav Tithi Mahamotsav ki jai. Prahlāda Mahārāj ki jai. Also, I want to speak on Radha Raman Dev. Very, very attractive deity of Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami. And it is again the personification of Lord's reciprocation with his devotee. You see, we were told by one of very senior devotee who came for the installation team that why Narasimha has appeared in your temple. Although other temples were thinking of many, many years to install Narasimha, but Narasimha did not appear. Because our Guru Maharaj, Srila Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, he had a desire. And if you see, Guru Maharaj has a very beautiful Narasimha deity, his personal deity in his altar. And Maharaj has been praying to Narasimha for many, many years, since 1978. And how many years? From 1978 to 2023. 22 years there and 23 years here in this. 45 years. 45 years of prayers and unconditional devotional service. The Lord has manifested. What a form, what a divine form, the blissful form. Lord Narasimha has appeared. So Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami, as you all know, we have spoken about Srila Gopal Bhatta Goswami at many occasions. He is the son of Sri Venkat Bhatt. We all went to Srirangam. Some of you went to Srirangam. Srirangam is a place of Sri Vaishnavas, the followers of Sripad Ramanujacharya. So Sri Venkat Bhatt was the chief priest of Sri Rangam temple. And he was worshipping the beautiful form of Sri Ranganathji. He was the chief priest. And at that time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he reached Sri Rangam. And when he took darshan of Lord Ranganath, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in ecstasy and he danced. And he performed Sankirtan. And everyone was astounded. So was Venkat Bhatt. And Venkat Bhatt was such a pure-hearted person that he immediately took the opportunity and he invited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to come and accept prasad at his house. That was the sign of his intelligence. Immediately, at first sight, he said, "My dear sir, why don't you come and accept prasad at our house?" And when Lord Chaitanya went along with Venkat Bhatt to his house, so Venkat Bhatt had two more brothers, Tirumal Bhatt and Prahlāda Bhatt. And he had a son named Gopal, who was just 10 or 11 years old. And when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, so his family, they first did foot bathing, Pāḍ Prakshalanam. They washed the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and Venkat Bhatt, he sprinkled the water of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's washed lotus feet on the head of his family members and drank the water. And Gopal became unconscious. Why? Because he received the love. He took that Charanamrit of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu directly. In just 11 years. So cutting short, a very beautiful story of how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Gopal served personally 24/7 Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Venkat Bhatt was so intelligent that when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to his house, he said that, "My dear sir, you are in the sannyas order, and from tomorrow there is the 4 months of monsoon. So in this monsoon months, the sannyasi cannot travel. So you please recite Krishna Katha every day. Otherwise Mahaprabhu will not stay." He said, "You every day preach Krishna Katha and stay here. Chaturmasya." And Mahaprabhu agrees, and Gopal gets the opportunity to be with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for 4 continuous months. Every activity what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was performing, he was assisting. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaves, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu tells Gopal that you stay with your mother and father till the time they live in this world. And after they leave this body, they will go to Vaikuntha, because they were worshippers of Lord Vishnu. And when they leave, you can come to Vrindavan. And when it happens, Gopal comes to Vrindavan. And after Gopal comes to Vrindavan, after a few years, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu leaves. So Gopal cannot bear the separation of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He could not get the opportunity to meet Chaitanya Mahaprabhu again in his life. So in his feeling of separation, he could not bear the separation. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appears to him in the dream and says, "If you want to find me, go to Gandaki. I will appear to you in the form of Shaligram." And in short, Gopal from Vrindavan, he travels to north in the Himalayas to the Gandaki river. And as he is taking bath, the Shaligram Shilas enter his Kamandalu, his water pot. And he brings them and he starts to worship them. And in a matter of time, we see Lord Govind Dev Ji appears, Madan Mohan Ji appears. They are served by Sanatan Goswami, Shilarup Goswami. But Gopal has only the Shaligram Shilas. So one day, on the day of Narsim Chaturdashi, yesterday, so Gopal Bhatt Goswami is meditating and weeping that, my dear Lord, my heart is stone. I have no loving feelings for you. I have not been able to perform any proper devotional service to you. Because if I would have performed some devotional service, you would have manifested in your Shyama Sundar Roop, like you have manifested for Rup Goswami and Srila Sanatana Goswami. Because I am like a stone, you are with me like stone in the form of Shaligram. And then he was crying entire night of Narsimha Chaturdashi, praying to the Lord. In love of Prahlāda, you appeared from pillar in the form of Narsimha. But because I have no love, you have manifested your form in the form of Shaligram. And in this way, an entire night, he was pleading, he was praying. And when the morning comes, he goes to Yamuna to take bath. And when he comes back, he sees that his Shaligram has transformed. There's no more Shaligram because there is the beautiful threefold bending form. That form is of Shri Radha Raman Dev. Shri Radha Raman Dev Avirbhav. Today is that Avirbhav. Very beautiful deity. So he appears today in the form of Radha Raman Dev. So out of love of Pāṇḍava Shri Radha Raman Ji Lal, Jai 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 Shri Bhatta Gopal. That is the prayer that we recite at Radha Raman Ji. He is Pāṇḍava of Shri Gopal Bhatta Goswami. कानन में मकरागत कुंडल मेहंदी झल के बाद प्राणधन श्री राधा रमन जी लाल घूंघर वाली अलके झलके बाके नयन विशाल प्राणधन श्री राधा रमन जी लाल. It is in the love. So the Supreme Lord, he appears in the form of deity. Why? To reciprocate with the love of his devotee. So this Vigraha, these deities which are appearing, they are reciprocation of the love of a pure devotee to the Lord and his service of his lifetime. Very powerful deity, very live deities. There are others also, but I have to stop because I have to do some service, important service. So thank you, Ganesh Prabhu, for sending an invitation. So I was forced. I could not withdraw. I was forced to give the class. Keep me in this force. I am agreeing to be in this circle of force so that we can do Krishna Katha. Along with Krishna Seva, we should continue Krishna Katha. Today our DT minister, Narsimha Kavach Prabhu, he is the DT minister of ISKCON Global. His Grace Narsimha Kavach Prabhu. He was speaking. Today in the morning he gave the Bhagavatam class. He was very impressed by and he very much appreciated the services that Shri Radha Parsarthi for the deities being done. But he also said that Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Katha must continue. Krishna Kirtan, Krishna Katha, Krishna Seva. All should go on continuously. Shri Radha Raman Dev Avirbhav Tithi Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Shri Narsimha Dev Avirbhav Tithi Maha Mahotsav ki jai. Thank God, Prema Nandi, very, very good. Hare Krishna. Tomorrow will be spiritual scientist. We will see the force of lust. Krishna is explaining in the 3rd chapter, the final section. And Sunday we have Krishna's Nauka Vihar. In our temple, 7th is boat festival. It will be 14th boat festival. All are invited to come and see how Krishna, Shri Radha Parsarthi does Nauka Vihar. Hare Krishna.
I think they are devotees. We can sign out. We can sign out.